What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. I'm hoping everybody's doing all right. I can't believe Diddy locked in a cell, tunnels under his house, and he can't make bail. I ain't gonna play the whole song, man, because this joint 30 minutes long. The Diddy Netflix doc is horrifying. I cannot believe I was fooled. Man. Y'all don't know how many times me and my producers and my friends, we done built the recording studio. We look, Bad Boy or Death Row or anybody got this in their studio. We need to get this in our studio. We in the house. We trying to be, we doing music. We was doing more New Jack City swing, shy, love songs. But I wanted to do hip hop. I wanted my music to sound like Dr. Dre and Bad Boy. It was, I think even back then I knew Diddy wasn't actually making the beats, but that what y'all gonna do? Wanna be ballers, Shaq callers, brawlers, and that new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. We used to break those beats down and analyze them. How in the world they get this sound, man? We got to get the sound. The way that kick drum, dude, I remember putting 3 or 4 EQs on the kick and snare. Trying to get that grimy, dirty hip hop sound. That Bad Boy sound. I was hooked on it. There's a part in the documentary where you see Diddy is actually trying to teach Stacy Lattisaw. Stacy Lattisaw husband owned the recording studio that I used to work at. And I was on the bottom of the tolling pole. I tell the truth. Ain't no reason to lie. And I'm over here trying my best to get my music to make hits. And they was barely letting me hang around laughing at me. I was the person taking out the trash and cleaning the bathrooms, sweeping the floors, baby. I was proud to do it. Because I knew one day if I had my shot, I was going to be somebody. I knew it. But I had electronics. So if a wire was broken, I would fix it and make sure it's fixed good. It might break somewhere else, but it ain't gonna break where Uncle Mike fixed it at. Believe that. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, I was in it. And I remember talking to Puffy, because he was in my way. I just said, excuse me, while I was working, winding up the cords or whatever the case may be. But I was there. I talked to Stacy. We conversate back and forth. Yeah. And she couldn't dance. I mean, she can dance. She can get out on the dance floor and shake a tail feather. You know what I'm saying? She can dance. But she couldn't do the moves. How about that? So Puffy, they put that all in the video and stuff, man. I was there. Uncle Mike was right there. I wasn't there when they were shooting the video, but I was there around that click, so to speak. But anyway, I can't believe, man. I cannot believe that I was so deep into this, and this is what he turned out to be, man. Jesus Christ, I would not want that. But anyway, hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, man. Let's check this bad boy out.
Netflix wasn't even ready for the amount of chaos one single docuseries could unleash, and Shawn "Diddy" Combs definitely wasn't ready for how fast the world would react. Picture this moment. It's the eve of Netflix releasing a 4-part deep dive called Shawn Combs, The Reckoning.
The Reckoning.
A documentary executive produced by 50 Cent, the one person Diddy probably never wanted narrating his downfall. The trailer is trending. Reddit threads are heating up. People are posting countdown tweets like they're waiting for a championship fight. And then, boom, just hours before the premiere, Diddy's legal team jumps out the shadows with a cease-and-desist letter demanding that Netflix stop everything. The letter calls the entire doc a shameful hit piece. It says Netflix is using stolen footage never authorized for release.
Dude, Netflix, they had to know that was coming. They had to know Diddy was going to jump out there and do skid tactics. You ever get some documentation from a lawyer or some type of bigwig? That alone will scare you. You'd be like, man, whatever, man. Netflix is big and say, hey, I'm going to take this document that they saying stop and desist and send it to my lawyers. Now, you think Diddy lawyers is paid. I think they probably got about 24 lawyers. Y'all look over this. This is something big. When something big comes down the pipe, man, you got to get your lawyers on it. And everything is good, man. I say let's go with it. Good, that's all we need. We gambling, we Netflix. We going to gamble with it. Blam. They put it out there. What you going to do, Mr. Jailbird? You're running out of money anyway.
It claims they included private legal strategy that was never intended for public consumption. And they warned Netflix in writing
everybody do
that Diddy will not hesitate to pursue further legal action. Mm-hmm. It's dramatic. It's desperate. It's the exact type of move that tells the public there's something inside this documentary he really doesn't want you to see. The internet reacts exactly how you expect. Everyone who had zero interest in this series 24 hours earlier suddenly has it at the top of their watch list. Mm-hmm. This is the Streisand effect on steroids. Every time someone tries to bury something, the internet shoves it into the spotlight and hits the gas. People start tweeting, if Diddy wants it gone that bad, I'm watching it twice. He just promoted the documentary better than Netflix.
Damn.
I wasn't even planning to watch this. Now,
damn, that is... If Diddy, I'm watching it twice. I gotta watch it twice too. I gotta take notes this time, man. I watched it to see if it's gonna be some new information. Then now I gotta watch it again to take some notes, man, and timestamp stuff. Listen to this, man. It's funny right here. This is what people tweet. See, that's why I ain't on Twitter. I can't think of this type of stuff off the top of my head. Just like when you was in high school and people started laughing and joking on you, I never had a comeback. Yeah, your hair looks nice. I never, man, you see that dude, you see his pants? Pants look like he ready to jump out of an airplane. Huh? You know what I'm saying? They had the funny stuff. I had the corny stuff, man. Well, I think your haircut is real nice. I was always on the positive side.
Diddy wants it gone that bad, I'm watching it twice.
If
he just promoted
the
documentary better than Netflix. I wasn't even planning to watch this. Now I'm locked in. Reddit threads explode. YouTube reactors get their cameras ready. Podcast hosts start scheduling emergency live streams. Bloggers who hadn't written about Diddy in months start lining up their headlines. And guess who's watching all this unfold with a smirk? 50 Cent. While Diddy is threatening Netflix with lawsuits, 50 is out here posting memes, counting likes, and throwing gasoline on every single spark of drama. This man has been calling Diddy out for 15 straight years, from interviews to books to skits to trolling. He's been hinting that something about Diddy ain't right. And now he's the executive producer of the documentary that looks like it's putting a final nail in Diddy's reputation. He celebrates the release like it's New Year's Eve. He reposts the legal letter. He mocks Diddy's complaints. He calls him scared of the truth. He responds to Dame Dash's criticism. He treats the whole thing like a championship victory lap. But what makes this moment even crazier is the content of that trailer. The footage that Diddy is claiming was stolen. Because inside that trailer, you hear Diddy on the phone saying, "We need someone who's dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. We're losing." When the public hears that, it doesn't come across like I'm innocent. It sounds like someone trying to fix the story with a crisis communications hit squad. Diddy's spokesperson tries to explain it away, saying, Diddy has been filming himself since he was 19. He's always documented everything. The footage was part of his own personal documentary. Netflix somehow got it through a mystery source. None of this was meant for public eyes. But Netflix and the director clapped back instantly. They say, we obtained the footage legally. We have the rights. We reached out to Diddy's team multiple times for an interview. They never responded.
They did not.
So, you got two sides pointing in opposite directions. Diddy's lawyers. This is stolen, biased, illegal, and designed to destroy him. Netflix. Everything here is legit, cleared, and documented. The only thing this fight accomplishes, it makes the world more curious about what Diddy is trying to hide. And that's why this documentary starts trending before it even drops. For decades, Diddy controlled his own narrative. The flashy cars, the suits, the champagne, the celebrity friendships, the mogul image. But the second he tries to stop this documentary, the world finally sees something different. Not a mogul, not a legend, not a visionary, but a man who might actually be worried that for once, the truth isn't in his hands anymore. And that's where this journey begins. Because The Reckoning isn't just a documentary, it's a collision between reputation and reality, between power and consequences, between secrets and exposure. The series opens with a single idea. This might be the moment where even Diddy can't outrun the darkness anymore. Before the doc even airs, the internet witnesses a three-way collision. 50 Cent, Dame Dash, and the legacy of Shawn Combs. It starts with a simple academics post, a side-by-side clip that blows the conversation wide open. On the left, Dame Dash sitting in an interview, bald, suited up, calm. He claims that 50 Cent is lying about buying the rights to Paid in Full. He says 50 doesn't own power the way he claims. He calls 50 a storyteller who exaggerates for attention. On the right, Dame Dash again, this time on selfie cam, missing tooth, visibly irritated, calling the doc shameful, calling the entire project a cultural betrayal. And then he drops the quote that turns the internet upside down. Never trust a black man who tears down another black man for a white man. That's nasty work. He's basically saying 50 is selling out the culture, doing corporate hit jobs and cashing in on another black man's downfall, and Twitter eats it up. Some people ride with Dame. He's right. Black men shouldn't help white corporations destroy each other.
Even if they doing wrong? The man kicked that little girl down the hallway. As soon as I seen that, I don't see no color, bruh. I see a man doing wrong. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you need to pull him to the side, 50. Bruh, what you doing, man? You tripping. If I see you do that stuff again, I gotta take action. I mean, what else you supposed to do? Strike one, strike two, strike three? Now, you know the grapevine is a lot deeper when you in that business, when you in there. I'm pretty sure 50 know what's... Come on, man. Y'all fake it. Oh, my God.
Dame is the only one who speaks on principle. 50 loves beef too much. Others clap back instantly. Dame defending Diddy? That's wild. Where was all this energy when Diddy was abusing his power? So 50 is the problem, but Diddy isn't. The reaction splits the culture in two directions. Team truth versus team loyalty. Some say the documentary is overdue justice. Others say it's exploitation packaged as entertainment. And 50, he doesn't let Dame slide for 1 second. He goes straight to Instagram, cracking jokes, clowning Dame's teeth, calling him broke and bitter, posting old pictures, flipping Dame's words into memes, doing what 50 does best, weaponizing humor, pettiness, and timing. The funniest part? Just months earlier, Dame was talking about ending his beef with 50. He wanted a meeting. He said they should squash it and do business. 50 responded with, I agree. We should work together. Oh wait, Cam just said FK Dame and his fake ChatGPT lawsuit, so it's still FK Dame. That's the backdrop of this whole thing. 50 doesn't let beef die peacefully. He treats it like cardio. He stays in shape with it. So when this doc comes out and everyone is talking and Dame is hovering around trying to take moral shots, 50 treats him like a warm-up. But here's the truth. This wasn't really about Dame Dash. It wasn't even fully about 50 Cent. This was about something deeper happening in the culture. A split between people who think Diddy deserves exposure and people who think 50 is using tragedy to boost his brand. Some think 50 Cent is a hero for shining a light on decades of silence. Some think he's a villain exploiting another black man's downfall. Some think Dame Dash is protecting black unity. Others think Dame is protecting black abusers. In all of this noise, all this drama comes before viewers even hit play. This is the perfect storm for a documentary release. Drama in the culture, drama in the business, drama in the legal system, drama in the media. And Diddy isn't even here to defend himself. He's in a federal prison in New Jersey, reading headlines, watching the culture he once controlled now turn into a courtroom he can't manipulate. And the world hasn't even seen the first episode yet. Before the documentary unleashes its heavy allegations, before the hidden footage, before the witness accounts, before the civil lawsuits, the reckoning begins by rewinding the tape. And this is where viewers get hit with something unexpected. You start to realize the warning signs were always there. The doc opens by taking us back to the early 90s, back when Shawn Combs was just a hungry intern at Uptown Records. This is pre-Bad Boy, pre-mansions, pre-multi-million-dollar deals. This is the version of Diddy the public used to admire. The kid with the crazy work ethic, the ambition, the all-gas, no-brakes personality. And for a moment, the series leans into the mythology. They show the parties he promoted, the artists he discovered, the aggressive drive that helped him rise faster than almost anyone in the industry. But the tone shifts fast. Every time someone praises his hustle, they slide in a detail that feels off. A former employee describes Diddy in the 90s as magnetic, brilliant, unstoppable, and dangerous, unpredictable, and obsessed with control. Another staffer explains that Diddy didn't just want things done. He wanted them done his way, with no hesitation, no pushback, no questions. A crew member says if Puff felt you weren't moving fast enough, he didn't ask twice, he demanded. And then we get the first real red flag. The documentary highlights the 1991 tragedy at City College, the celebrity basketball game Combs promoted that ended in 9 deaths after a stampede broke out. This is the first moment where the doc makes its intentions clear. They're not just here to talk about the crimes. They're here to show the pattern. People interviewed in the doc say things like, Puff was always doing too much. The event was overcrowded, and everyone knew it. Planning was reckless. He was warned about safety issues. And when the tragedy happened, Diddy reportedly wanted to move fast, get back to work, push forward, rebuild his image. On camera, Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burrows drops a bombshell. He claims that Diddy's own mother, Janice, tried to slow him down after the incident, and Diddy allegedly slapped her during an argument. This allegation hits viewers like a gut punch. This isn't from tabloids. This isn't from a rumor site. This is from someone who built Bad Boy right next to him. People online reacted instantly. He hit his own mother? This is deeper than we thought.
Man, there's a couple of people saying that he hit his own mother. It's a couple of people saying, he definitely hit Cassie and lied about it.
This explains a lot, but the series doesn't linger. It keeps showing the momentum of Diddy's rise mixed with the chaos trailing behind him. They show how he began recruiting artists, how Biggie changed everything, how Bad Boy became the center of hip-hop's universe, how the money, the pressure, the fame, and the ego all started twisting together. The doc plays rare footage of Diddy backstage, shouting orders, snapping on staff, hyping himself up as the visionary in the room. Every clip is energetic, powerful, magnetic, but also controlling. Then comes another pattern. Diddy allegedly demanded employees sign agreements to give up pieces of their business shares. People describe baseball bats, intimidation, fear, silence. One former employee says, if Puff wanted you to do something, you did it. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in the building the next day. This is where the doc subtly reminds the audience. Power isn't just earned, it's enforced. From here, the tone shifts again. The series transitions to the first sexual assault allegations Diddy ever faced, long before the public even knew. We meet Joy Dickerson-Neal, who calmly, heartbreakingly reads a letter her mother wrote back in 1992. A letter describing how Joy woke up screaming from nightmares. A letter.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Wait a minute, y'all gotta pay attention.
Dickerson-Neal, who calmly, heartbreakingly reads a letter her mother wrote back in 1992.
Wait a minute. God,
Forced.
Hold up.
From here, the tone shifts again.
Watch this.
The series transitions to the first sexual assault allegations Diddy ever faced, long before the public even knew. We meet Joy Dickerson-Neal, who calmly, heartbreakingly reads a letter her mother wrote back in 1992. A letter describing how Joy woke up screaming from nightmares. A letter saying Diddy allegedly videotaped her during sex without her knowledge. A letter saying he showed that tape to dozens of people. It's quiet, it's raw, it's disturbing, and it's from 1991, 34 years before the Netflix documentary. The point becomes clear. Diddy didn't just fall from grace. His empire was built on things we never saw. When the documentary shows an early 2000s clip of Diddy partying in fur coats, popping bottles, flashing jewelry, posing with celebrities, the contrast is jarring. It's the image we grew up with, the version the media loved, the icon. But after everything we've seen so far, that same image now hits different. Because behind the champagne, behind the limos, behind the superstar persona, was a trail of silence, fear, manipulation, and unchecked power. And it doesn't stop there. The rise of Bad Boy and the shadow no one talked about the documentary moves into the Bad Boy Records glory era. Biggie, Total, 112, Faith Evans, Craig Mack, Ma. The hits start rolling. The label takes over MTV. Every party becomes legendary. Puffy becomes the center of the culture. But again, the series keeps pulling the curtain back. Former employees describe insane demands, 20-hour workdays, sleep deprivation, sudden firings, verbal outbursts, staff crying in bathrooms. People terrified to tell him no. One person says, "We were working for a genius, but he wanted to be a god." Another says, "He could make your career, or he could crush your life." And he knew it. That's when the documentary introduces another dark thread. Hidden cameras. Several insiders mention that Diddy was fascinated, almost obsessed, with filming everything around him. This becomes important later, but the doc plants the seed early. Private moments were recorded. People claimed they didn't consent. Some footage allegedly showed intoxicated or unconscious individuals. And this next part hits viewers like a shockwave. One accuser says that people who saw the tapes, people Diddy trusted, employees, associates, were the ones who eventually told the victims. Meaning, they had no idea they had been filmed until someone else told them. This sets up the documentary's central theme. Diddy wasn't just powerful. He allegedly used that power in extremely dark ways, but Netflix doesn't rush it. The pacing is slow and surgical. The documentary builds a timeline. It connects dots that were always there but never put together. It shows the culture around Diddy, the enabling, the silence, the loyalty for hire. You start to see that this wasn't a secret life. This was a structure, a machine, a system built to protect the man at the top. And the people who spoke up, they vanished from the industry. They were replaced, blacklisted, cast out. One former staff member says, "You didn't expose Puff. Puff exposed you." This brings us to the next major turning point in the documentary. The death of Biggie and the shift that changed everything. The doc reveals never-before-seen footage from the night Notorious B.I.G. was killed. Police radio, ambulances, people screaming, pure chaos. But then you see the 911 call as Biggie's friend races him to the hospital. The desperation in his voice is chilling. This is when the doc shifts from power to paranoia. Because after Biggie's death, insiders say Diddy began changing. He became more controlling, more isolated, more extreme. Several interviewees claim that trauma turned his obsession with control into something darker.
Damn.
His ego grew. His paranoia grew. His need to dictate every part of his surroundings grew. We see footage of him moving across the room while talking to staff, snapping orders like a director running a movie set, except this was real life. One person says, Puff wasn't the same after Big. He thought the world was coming for him. And when someone thinks like that, there are no limits. Another staffer describes how Diddy allegedly used Biggie's death as emotional leverage to keep people loyal. Even when some people wanted to speak up or walk away, they say he treated it as betrayal, as if loyalty to him was the only way to honor Biggie's legacy.
Damn.
This emotional manipulation is another point that the documentary hammers home repeatedly. People felt trapped, financially, professionally, socially, emotionally. This is the moment viewers start saying, this was never about music. This wasn't a normal label. This was a lifestyle built around one man. And the doc doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people around Diddy weren't just witnesses. They were enablers, not out of evil, but out of fear, out of survival, out of wanting to keep their careers. When the documentary finally introduces Aubrey O'Day's segment, it transforms the entire tone again. Aubrey reads explicit emails allegedly sent by Diddy during making the band. Emails describing domination, control, sexual expectations, and manipulation. She reads the line, "I don't just want to sleep with you, I want to turn you out." Then she reads another, "I make my woman do what I tell her to do, and she loves it." The audience reaction online was instant, jaw-dropping. She explains how she rejected his advances, how she felt targeted, how she was eventually removed from Danity Kane. But the part that hits the hardest, Aubrey says she discovered, years later, an affidavit from someone claiming they witnessed her unconscious assaulted by Combs and another man. She breaks down saying, "I don't even know if I was, and I don't want to know." That moment in the doc is devastating. The doc doesn't sensationalize her pain. It lets viewers sit in the silence. And Aubrey's testimony sets the tone for the series moving forward. These weren't rumors. These weren't allegations for attention. These were patterns. Patterns spanning decades. Patterns across states. Patterns across entire eras of Diddy's career. And then the doc jumps to the next part. The part that Diddy tried to stop at all costs. The footage he filmed himself. The fourth chapter of this documentary is the part that even your competitors online are calling the footage that cooked him. This wasn't an interview. This wasn't hearsay. This wasn't another witness recounting trauma. This was Diddy recording himself. And that right there sets the stage for a level of downfall we rarely ever see in hip-hop. Because when this chapter opens, Netflix doesn't play it slow. They don't set a vibe. They don't build their way toward the reveal. They drop you directly into Diddy's worst week on earth, with cameras rolling the entire time, because he wanted it that way. According to
My man got a light on, it's broad daylight. This is so fake, man. And we buy into this. My bad, y'all. I just had to say something. This dude is, ever since he been messing with Diddy's head, that shit look all the same. It looks all the same. It's just all for the cameras. Yeah, I'm in the chair getting beautified. He got his little, oh my God, this is so ugly, man. I gotta rewind. Bama he got a light on and everything. Like oh my God. Really? It looked like he just got off the pillow, got out of bed, shook a little bit, and then, come on, man. This is so fake, y'all. Society gets all into this. Oh, they beautifying him and everything, all the barbershop crew. Oh,
this wasn't an interview. This wasn't hearsay. This wasn't another witness recounting trauma. This was Diddy recording himself. And that right there sets the stage for a level of downfall we rarely ever see in hip-hop. Because when this chapter opens, Netflix doesn't play it slow. They don't set a vibe. They don't build their way toward the reveal. They drop you directly into Diddy's worst week on earth, with cameras rolling the entire time, because he wanted it that way. According to Netflix, Diddy hired a videographer just 6 days before his arrest, trying to craft his own documentary. He thought he could spin the narrative before the world turned on him. He thought he could drown out the accusations with charisma. He thought the fans would take his side because, in his mind, he had always been able to talk his way out of anything. But the footage they recovered, it's not the footage of a man defending himself. It's the footage of a man unraveling. It starts with him pacing across a penthouse floor, his voice sharp, his hands shaking, as he tells his lawyers, "We're losing. Y'all don't understand. We're losing the narrative." The documentary cuts to a bad boy employee, Capricorn Clark, who says something chilling. He's been recording himself for decades. He thinks he's the greatest storyteller in hip-hop. He thinks he can out-talk anything. But in this footage, there's no polishing, no edits, no publicist-approved lines, just raw panic. Netflix shows him demanding his team find somebody that deals in the dirtiest of dirty business. And he's not talking about lawyers. He's talking about media weapons, people who can bend narratives, shape trends, slide influence into TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, the timeline, anywhere potential jurors might scroll. One staff member in the doc says it felt like watching a general at war. But the problem was, Diddy wasn't fighting a narrative. He was fighting reality. At one point, he orchestrates a visit back to Harlem, telling the camera crew to get cutaway shots of police on rooftops for dramatic effect. He's shaking hands with fans, smiling, cracking jokes. Yet the moment he gets back into his SUV, his face collapses. "I need hand sanitizer. I gotta take a bath. I've been out among the people." And the way he says, "the people," that tells you everything. This wasn't love. This wasn't community. This was strategy. His former head of security, Roger Bonds, sums it up perfectly. He only goes back to the culture when he needs it. Now he's begging Harlem to save him.
Yep.
The documentary uses these clips to show a man whose entire empire is built on optics, public manipulation, and mood control. But now, those tools weren't working. Not even his sons could hide his desperation. Netflix shows Justin, his son, being instructed to dig up old videos of artists praising him to counteract fresh allegations. The footage gets dark when he finds out about Dawn Richards' lawsuit. He explodes, screaming, punching walls, demanding statements, telling his team the gloves are off. Prosecutors later described these calls as witness pressure. Diddy's lawyers denied that, but the footage speaks for itself. Netflix director Alexandra Stapleton says they obtained everything legally, and she refuses to name the filmmaker who gave her the material, which makes Reddit and X spiral with theories. Some say it was a disgruntled staffer. Some say interns leaked drives. Others think the FBI had access and quietly allowed it. Netflix doesn't say, but the footage is real, and it's damning. The chapter ends with one of the most bone-chilling shots in the entire series. Diddy staring into the lens, eyes bloodshot, whispering, "This is my life. Nobody's taking this from me." But the irony? He handed the world the very footage that helped take everything. And the doc cuts to black.
That's
Up
crazy.
next, the trial, and what the jurors really thought. United States of America versus Shawn Combs. And this is where Netflix goes deeper than any news outlet ever did. They sit down with two jurors, Juror 75 and Juror 160, who explain exactly why Diddy avoided the most devastating charges while still getting hit with the transportation for prostitution conviction. Juror 160, a middle-aged woman, says something that breaks the entire internet. He wasn't charged with domestic violence, so we couldn't convict him on that. This is where the doc shines. It shows the gap between what the world believes and what the jury was legally allowed to decide. Juror 75 goes even further. He says he didn't understand why Cassie kept going back. He thought the relationship was toxic love. He thought it was two people clapping hands together. He said, "You can't clap with one hand." It's the kind of statement that makes viewers pause the episode and just sit in disbelief. Netflix cuts to experts explaining trauma bonding, cycles of control, power imbalances, why victims return to abusers, why jurors often misunderstand. Prosecutors then discuss how they believe Diddy's charisma and fame influenced jurors subconsciously. One of them says, jurors were starstruck. They saw Puff Daddy, not the allegations. And then Netflix cuts to clips of Diddy smiling in court, winking, laughing at moments, acting like the room is his stage. One accuser in the doc says he never felt fear a day in his life, but prosecutors reveal something deeper. Behind the scenes, Diddy was calling certain people too much, enough for the government to hint at witness influence. One of those people, Kalena Harper from Dirty Money, revealed she was pressured to counter Dawn Richards' lawsuit. She eventually released a statement in his favor, but she admits on camera she felt cornered. Netflix then dives into the chaos leading up to the trial. FBI raids, civil lawsuits stacking, the press circling, activists posting survivor stories, Diddy spiraling online. Then the documentary explains why the jury acquitted him on the heaviest charges. The evidence wasn't clear-cut. Some witnesses were too afraid to testify. Key video evidence was unavailable. Cassie didn't testify. Live charisma clouded perception. But at the same time, Netflix makes it clear the conviction he did get wasn't minor. It was serious, and it was federal. The chapter ends with Juror 160 saying, justice was served. But the way she says it, it feels like a question, because the truth is coming in the next chapter. This chapter hits like a freight train. Netflix brings out accusers from across decades, different cities, different eras, different parts of Diddy's empire, and yet every story sounds the same. This is where the documentary focuses on one key theme, pattern. They don't just show allegations or they show consistency. First, Joy Dickerson Neal. She doesn't retell her entire assault. Instead, she reveals a letter her mother wrote to Diddy's mother in 1992, one of the most devastating pieces of the entire doc. Her mother describes Joy waking up screaming, vomiting from trauma, terrified. She explains how she believed Diddy recorded her daughter without consent and showed the footage to dozens of people. The letter says, your son shows these tapes at parties. Netflix cuts to the crew's reaction. Even they're stunned. Then comes Aubrey O'Day. She reads explicit emails from Diddy on screen. Emails sent while filming Making the Band. Emails telling her what he wanted to do to her. Emails describing acts he expected from her. Emails she ignored and was fired shortly after. O'Day calls it the most traumatic power dynamic of my career. Then Rodney Jones, the music producer, reveals he woke up after being drugged in a house filled with hidden cameras. He believed he was recorded. He believed many people were recorded. He describes a culture where nothing was private. But the most disturbing part, many of the accusers say they learned about the tapes from third parties, friends who saw the videos and told them later, which means some people watched illegal recordings and said nothing. Netflix highlights that silence. How many people in his circle turned away? How many careers depended on him? How often fame washed away accountability? This chapter doesn't move fast. It moves heavy. Every story drops like a weight. And the doc uses silence as a weapon, seconds of nothing on screen to make the viewer absorb what was just said. Then the documentary transitions into the next chapter, the one that broke the internet, the one Reddit calls insane, the one even 50 Cent laughed nervously at, the freak-offs. Netflix interviews Clayton Howard, a former male escort, who describes 8 years of being flown into freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie. Howard describes days-long sessions, baby oil laced with drugs, Cassie being bossed around, physical assaults happening mid-encounter, Diddy controlling when she could move or stop, Diddy's mood swinging violently. He says he once asked what they were doing with a cup of his semen. Diddy allegedly told him he liked to watch Cassie drink it. The documentary doesn't linger on it. They move quickly to avoid graphic content, but the implication is enough. Then comes the most...
You got that right. They ain't stay on him too long. God dang, man. He had some deep stories too, man. Here we go.
Insane allegation. Freak-offs scheduled every March 9th. the anniversary of Biggie's death. Howard says he didn't know why, but it was consistent. He describes those nights as chaotic, drug-filled, violent, and disturbing. Viewers online said this chapter left them sick. The tone shifts. Even the narrator speaks slower. Interviewees look away from the camera. The documentary feels haunted. Netflix then positions freak-offs as the centerpiece of manipulation, saying it reinforced control addiction, submission, loyalty, silence. This chapter cements everything the doc has been building toward, because after hearing these stories, after watching the tapes, after seeing jury interviews, after hearing the ex-employees, after watching his own footage, the idea of a comeback feels impossible. And that takes us into the conclusion. The documentary ends the only way it can. Bluntly, Netflix says Diddy's career isn't just damaged, it's over. They show clips of 50 Cent calling out the industry, clips of Dame Dash calling out 50 Cent, clips of fans arguing online, clips of lawyers preparing more cases, clips of reporters saying more charges may come. They show Biggie footage. They show Cassie footage. They show Diddy smiling in 2000, 2005, 2010, 2020, as if replaying the arc of a man who built an empire off perception. And finally, they show the same footage from Chapter 4, Diddy whispering into the camera, "Nobody's taking my life from me." Then they cut to a black screen with one line, but the truth always catches up.
I bet you any amount of money, man, before Diddy passes away, I think he gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Like while he's on this deathbed or something. Yeah, I did this. I was the one. This is my confession. I want to leave this world clean. I want to confess I did this, I did that, I did this. I got away with this, I got away with that. Because he want to be like, nah, the whole time I got away with this. Y'all never caught me with this, that, and the third. Guarantee you he probably do something like that. Now that I confess, I'm going to heaven. I'm out. Yeah, that's what he gonna do. Hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.